later on this afternoon, I have a meeting scheduled with the dealership to go over the final numbers on my lease agreement. And they also informed me that they received stock of 4 Charger Daytonas in inventory earlier this week. One of them being a Scat Pack. I believe it's in black. And so it's going to be my first time to ever actually see one of these in person. And I'm almost more excited about that than coming to terms on the lease agreement. So I'm going to go get my hair cut, head home, and then head towards the dealer and go check out those Chargers and see what they've got on the table as far as an offer is concerned. I'm almost speechless in a way. It is exceeding all of my expectations. This particular RT here, I've gone over it with a fine-tooth comb, and I can't find anything wrong with it, especially from a fit and finish standpoint. I'm going to poke my nose around it a little bit more and show you what I find.
This car has to be seen in person to really truly be appreciated. The moment I laid eyes on it, not only did I see that evocative 68 Charger Coke bottle inspired design that the brilliant designers at Dodge were able to mold into this yet angular, muscular, aggressive looking modern day muscle car. Here on the front end, it's just put together so well, so many unique design elements, just not available on anything else on the market today. There's a lower cowl, almost 68 Charger grill inspired lower valance there. Here again, a good look at just how wide and how aggressive the wheels stick out, just how muscular it makes the car look. The interior, again, a lot of the controls, a lot of the fit and finish, the feel of everything feels very much Dodge. Got a good storage area here in the door, a little bit of room for a bottle, the electric door release, but also a manual one in case you lose power and need to get out. Seat memory, windows, door locks, and mirror adjustment, everything you would expect. Let's see if you can spot the little homage to the 68 there real quick here in the dash. Going over to the controls, we've got the steering wheel adjustment, your typical lighting and hood pop controls. There are the region paddles with the infotainment controls, and there's the driver's seat adjustments. Going now to the Squircle steering wheel, Again, if you've been inside a modern Stellantis product, especially one from Dodge or Ram, this shouldn't look too different. There's your PowerShot button, your drive mode selector. Coming here to the center console, we've got your electric e-brake, your start-stop button, and that pistol shift. I am going to say right here, this is probably my least favorite, most often complained about component within the interior. Those haptic controls just aren't the best. Here we go. There's a back end. I think a lot of people are saying that, these are misaligned and it's indicating that it's poor construction, but I took these photos here. I don't see a problem with it. I think, for what you would expect from Dodge at this price point, I think things fit together well. Body lines line up. I again don't see a reason to complain. I wouldn't have any problems taking that particular unit home. I thought all the body lines, the welds, the gaps were even. They were aligned. Everything looked, again, very well assembled and very clean. And there you go, just on the RT here, getting a good look at those wide rear tires. And again, those fender flares there for that wide body. And then that rear lower valance right above that Fratsonic exhaust has the Daytona name embossed.
Hey everyone, it's Brandon here, Socket Monkey Garage, and behind me, I'm sure you can see, that is a 2024 Dodge Charger Daytona Scat Pack. This is the first time I've had an opportunity to see one in person. I just got to drive it a little bit, but I'll get to that in a moment. But I just wanted to do a little bit of a walk around. I know many of you, if you've been following the car, have probably already had several walk around videos play on YouTube, but I just thought I'd give you a little bit of my own opinion, a little bit of my own feedback so far. Then we're gonna hop right back in and give it a drive. So this unit in particular has the sun and sound package. So as you can see up here, we've got that pano full glass roof, as well as the upgraded audio system. It also has the carbon and suede. So as you can see, we've got the carbon inlay inserts here in the center console and in the door. As well as some nice suede trim here along the front leading edges of the dash. I did take a look at one of the 4 units this dealership took into inventory this week in their showroom just to get some photos. I'll put those photos up. I wanted to kind of dispel some of the ongoing rumors and speculation around fit and finish on these cars. And so far, as you can see, especially back here on the rear deck lid, the alignment is not off by all that much. And in fact, the unit inside an RT Stage 1, there was no misalignment on those panels whatsoever. You can see there, panel gap looks good. Panel gap is consistent. I'm not seeing anything that would cause me to question any kind of quality concerns, at least from a fit and finish standpoint up to this point here. And again, on the interior, as you can see, that suede, it has a nice feel, very soft, feels quality, feels like it would be durable. The stitching too, I do have to admit, the stitching's even, it looks nice. I would certainly put the quality of this fit and finish, the way everything appears, in line with a car at this price point. I will say, after now having an opportunity myself to see, feel, and touch these haptic controls, not a real big fan, and I can see where some of the unfavorable feedback is generated from it. In fact, you can see on this unit here, a little bit more of a gap there, a little raised up compared to this size here. I think a slight adjustment on that piece there could address that. But again, overall, one of the first things that really struck me when I walked into the showroom and saw the unit there, the RT unit there on the showroom floor, is just quite simply, while I understand based from a numbers perspective that this car is big, it is long, it is wide, and it is heavy, seeing it in person, it does not appear that way. The engineers did an incredible job of hiding its overall size. And so far, in just a few minutes I've had to drive it, while yes, it's an EV and it feels as if it does carry that weight, it carries it well. And even in the inside, in the interior, while it feels roomy, it feels like the cockpit of a performance car. And it doesn't feel cramped, but it doesn't feel cavernous, like you're inside a minivan or an SUV. See the carbon touches here on the wing mirrors. All right, so with that, I'm just ready to get inside of it again and take you along for a drive. Let's go. We're back behind the wheel. I'm going to hit the start button. Let's hear that classic Chrysler turbine engine influence startup procedure. I will have to say that while I do believe it's going to be a pretty polarizing aspect of this car and would take some time to get used to, I do have to say that I think I'm going to like this exhaust and what others have said around the fact that it's not just something you hear, it's something you feel. And that was evident there in that startup procedure. Now, if we go into the different drive modes and I choose another drive mode here, especially track and drag, the sound becomes much, much more pronounced. And there is, as others have indicated, a shift and change in the instrument cluster to indicate that. There shouldn't really be any question which mode you're in. And depending on your attitude lighting, your attitude adjustment lighting settings, those also are a good visual cue. And it's pretty incredible. I'm not sure if it's showing up on camera or not, but this is some of the only ambient interior lighting that I've seen in a car that is incredibly bright and clearly visible in the brightest part of the day. It's a very bright sunny day here in Chattanooga. Let's go for a drive. I have read out on the Daytona Owners Forum, for those who are fortunate to have actually taken delivery of one of these cars already. I have seen feedback regarding creep, the brake regen settings, to be strong on this car. And while I haven't yet felt that myself, I have seen several others confirm it, and I'm going to figure out for myself here if that's the case. It does roll forward off brake. I have seen in the owner's manual that is a setting that can be changed, but this is, by all accounts, a very regen heavy EV implementation. There's that Fratsonic exhaust, not only responding to the acceleration, but also that quick deceleration, that kind of unwinding sort of sound. I think it fits. It sounds appropriate. It sounds real enough. I made this comment earlier before we started recording, but this car has tremendous visibility. And I would have to say certainly much more visibility compared to my experience driving the LC Generation Challenger. I don't feel as concerned and worried at lower speeds near other objects like curbs or speed bumps. I feel like I have a good bead even without the aid of the cameras. I have a good idea where I'm at. And for me, one of the biggest anxiety points of getting a new car is learning its dimensions. And I'll say it again, this car, when you're behind the wheel, does not feel as big and massive as you know it to be on paper. And I think that, you know, is a great testament to the engineers at Dodge that developed this to kind of hide and mask its overall shape and weight with some really smart choices, you know, from a driver position standpoint and being able to see. And though this car doesn't possess any kind of ICE power plant up front, the way that the hood is designed to taper into that bar wing does give you this almost hood bulge, hood scoop effect in front of you, which to me just sort of kind of further sells that whole muscle car vibe. I am sure that as you guys get more of these and take people on more test drives, this is going to get a lot of attention, and you may find people overhearing it at these other dealerships find you guys over there at Dodge to check out what the heck was that passed by earlier. And it does taper down. It becomes very mild in auto, almost unnoticeable. It's there, and probably much louder on the outside, but in the inside, it's a great, auto mode is a great mode to have, I guess, if you want to have a conversation. But if you don't care to talk, there's always that. Now, it may be too cold today. Those of us on the owners forum have noticed that the PowerShot button does seem to have some conditional settings, or some conditional requirements around its usage, being outside ambient temperature, battery charge level. We're currently at, looks like a pretty high charge level. Actually, where is the, I haven't even figured out where. Okay, so it looks like we're probably at like 60%. The outside ambient temperature right now, according to the car, is 62 degrees, I would hope. And the car's been running for a little bit. I'm going to give the PowerShot button a try. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to put it to its full use, but let's see what that sounds like. Here it is. This is the same message others are seeing. PowerShot unavailable, battery level too low. And again, I don't know if that message is necessarily accurate. And I have actually been in contact with some insiders at Dodge. What they believe the message actually should probably read is that the battery condition or the battery state from a battery temperature standpoint isn't conducive to any kind of high output usage. There also may be, and this is again something that's unconfirmed, as with many high performance cars, there may be a break-in period. And if it is similar to, say, other ICE-powered Dodge vehicles, it may be a 500-mile limit that gets lifted, and then the PowerShot becomes, I guess, less restrictive in its use. I do have to say this. I am far more impressed than I expected to be. I've tried to remain very neutral and open-minded, but certainly someone who's been in support of this vehicle and championing its success. And I have to say, what I think Matt McAleer, the CEO of Dodge, what those in his office have said is they've gone out and demonstrated this vehicle to dealers, demonstrated it to the press. You have to get inside this car and drive it yourself. It does not show up on photographs and videos as good as it shows up in person, and it is far better than anything that anyone from the first drive impressions during the media event out at Bradford Racing School would lead you to believe. This car feels, this car drives, like a car at this price point. And if you're looking for something different and unique and certainly attention getting, there hasn't been a single head that has not swiveled, stopped and turned to look at this car and listen that I've driven past this entire test drive. And I think if that's the kind of car you want, you've got to give this car a try. Now all we need is for mine to get delivered. So out of curiosity, have you had anyone other than me come in specifically to look at these cars?
Not yet.
Not yet?
We've had a lot of leads that have gone by.
Yeah.
Nobody actually in person yet, except for, people thought we already had them 2-3 months ago, and a lot of people were coming in.
Asking about them.
Asking about them, seeing if we already had them. And then now that we have them, we haven't had anyone actually come in, but there's still people online asking about them.
Well, good.
I wish we got to try out the PowerShot more.
I wasn't surprised that so far a lot of the guys that have taken these home have indicated that either there's some kind of break-in mileage you have to pass, or you've got to have driven it. And also, I think in the track setup, and this is something where I'm just going to have to sit in the garage and learn once I get mine. You can go in and there's some kind of like battery prep that kind of warms the battery up if it's cold, or make sure that the battery is in the right state to do high output. And some are saying that could be the reason why it's not letting them use it. Others have been able to get it to successfully let them use PowerShot. And so far of those that did, they were in warm conditions. It was above 55 degrees. The battery was over 80%.
Yeah.
And they had done something, I think, potentially to precondition the battery for some kind of launch,
I think
so
it
to
may
say.
have to be over 80%, because when Trevor got it, he had just taken it off the charger. It was like 80-something percent.
And it worked?
And it worked.
Yeah.
Did it to the end of the cul-de-sac and back, and that was it.
I think, yeah. And I've actually reached out to Dodge to ask them. I've culled through the entire owner's manual and the quick start guide.
Mm-hmm.
And let's listen to that shutdown real quick. I like it, to each their own, but I think it's something that, yeah, we're at 58%. So.
Still pretty surprising how it wouldn't let you do it above 50. You would think even up to 50 it would let you.
I think it says a lot about potentially how much power the PowerShot drains.
That's what I was thinking, because when he was doing it, it was a dramatic difference from how you were driving it now to when that was happening.
Yeah. It just it untaps and releases that full 670 horsepower, which that makes sense. Sure that takes.
Probably kind of like having the red key in the Demon.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate this. This has been a long time coming, and I appreciate you giving me this opportunity. I guess we can go inside and see if Ken and Tara and the team are ready to talk numbers. All right, so I've wrapped things up in the finance office. I have good news. We've come to terms on the lease agreement. We agree on numbers. And all we need is for the delivery of my triple nickel Scat Pack, and that should be within the next week or two. So I'm going to head home, run the numbers one more time, but based on everything I saw and everyone here at Crown here in Chattanooga, I do just want to say a real sincere thank you. Everyone has been willing to essentially bend over backwards to kind of help get this deal completely reset, get us all on the same page. We figured out where things went wrong. Simple, honest mistake. Anyone could have made it. And, no hard feelings for the crew here. In fact, again, a great group of people, and have made this experience turn around for me. And I'm just that much more excited to get behind the wheel of my own. The little bit of taste that I got during the test drive in the black Scat Pack was all that I needed to confirm that the wait for this car will be worth it. And I do just want to say, give this car a chance. Go to a dealership, take a test drive, experience it for yourself. I think if you keep an open mind, you will be just shocked, utterly shocked. I may have, portrayed a sense of optimism, cautious optimism when it came to this car. But I will say that given the kind of flood of negative press, the flood of negative feedback on the internet and videos from other channels that clearly don't like this car, it's hard not to let that kind of creep in to some extent in the back of your mind as you think about spending $85,000, $86,000 on one of these. That's all gone. 5 minutes behind the wheel of this thing, 5 minutes walking around it, sitting in it, appreciating the fit and finish, the quality of the materials. I think this car will stand on its own, and I think it will speak for itself if you give it a chance. Head out to your dealer, look to see if they have inventory, if they're fortunate enough to have some. Take a test drive and experience it for yourself. Now, with all that said, it would seem then that my mind is made up, and any further research or any further effort to look into acquiring the 2025 BMW Z4 M40i Honstralter edition with the 6-speed manual transmission may be wasted effort now. But life, if it's taught me anything, it's taught me that you should be prepared for the worst while expecting, or at least hoping, for the best. And regardless, to always be prepared for any contingency.